Hey, good morning. Sorry, I said 10 o'clock, 10:05, man. It's the way it is. Hope you're doing well. Give us some time for people to jump back on. Just getting back from my morning run. Got me some morning coffee. It's doing good. Sure like to encourage you, Canvas Church, this morning on some things that me and Pastor Angie were thinking about and talking about on our run this morning. I want to encourage us on some things as a church as we're moving forward in life and just everything that's going on in our society. I want to encourage you a couple things. Pastor Angie said something to me while we were running. I'm just getting my notes that I jotted down when I got back from my run a few minutes ago that I thought would be imperative to talk about. At least share a couple scriptures and just encourage us as a church this morning about. I don't call her Pastor Angie. I call her Babe. Hey, Babe. You know what I'm saying? And I asked, how do you think church is doing? What's your temperature on Canvas Church? How do you think we're doing? And she said, I think people are getting weary. And as a church, just people in general feeling weary. She can actually type in there her exact words. I don't know if it was weary that she said, but along those lines, that's what I took from it. And I want to encourage us as one of your pastors. Hey, Angie Phipps, hi. Congrats to 25 years again. That's awesome. Hope you guys are having a good time, enjoying life together in this crazy, crazy time. I just want to encourage us as a church, as one of your pastors. If you're on this Canvas Church page, you're going to watch this later. We're going to put this in the group page that we're on this. We'll share it. Please like this and share it with your circle of influence, church. Come on now, every one of us has a circle of influence that God has placed us in, and it's really up to us to lead that circle, to lead that time. Are you feeling, there it is, are you feeling fatigued, weary, and tired? And that could be, are you feeling fatigued emotionally, weary, mentally, tired physically? Those things, those three things work together. And I want to encourage us on a few things on how to battle this feelings of fatigue and weariness. I would say this, well, it's in the description. No one's put us in isolation. It's not like we're in isolation, It's not like we are locked down in our homes, and if you leave, you're going to go, to prison or something. Well, let's hopefully we don't get there. But what I'm saying is, we're not in isolation, so let's not try to live in isolation. We have to fight against being in isolation. I hope you're listening to me this morning. So let me read the scripture to you. Galatians chapter 6. Galatians chapter 6. Galatians is in the New Testament of the Bible. It's one of the Pauline epistles. You would go Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. If you're going to the right in the Old Testament, if you have a paper Bible, or you have to scroll up on your app, you'll get to 1 Corinthians. Well, Romans, the book 1st, 2nd Corinthians. You'll get into Galatians. Galatians is a great book of the Bible. Galatians chapter 6. I want to encourage us with some thinking on this passage on really sowing seeds that doesn't lead us to isolation. Okay, Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. And I will share this. As many of you know, I work a full-time job. Pastor Angie, we both work full-time jobs like the rest of our church, with the desire to build a great, healthy church together. And so we all work I work in an essential job, and there's a lot of feelings of isolation going on. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9. Make no mistake about it. This is a Passion Translation. God will never be mocked. For whatever you plant will always be the very thing you harvest. The harvest you reap reveals the seeds that was planted. I've said this before to our church, Canvas. I've said this before 100 times. I'm going to say it 100 more times until we get it, until we understand it, until we live it. If you plant an apple seed, don't expect an orange tree. It's very important to understand that. If you're planting an apple seed in the ground and I'm hanging out with you and you talk about your orange trees you're going to have, I'm going to look at you like you're nuts because you're not getting orange trees. You're getting apple trees. If you plant an apple seed and it comes out to be an orange, it was not an apple seed. It was an orange seed, no matter what you want to say. Okay? You have to be aware of what you're planting. The harvest you reap reveals, come on now, the seed that was planted. If you plant the corrupt seeds of self-life into this natural realm, you can expect to experience a harvest of corruption. Now, we can go off into a whole teaching on that, and that's excellent. That's not what I'm talking about today. If you plant the good seeds of spirit life, you will reap the beautiful fruits that grow from everlasting life of the Spirit. Let me help us right now. Don't plant seeds of isolation in this season. Don't plant seeds of isolation in this season. We can keep a safe distance and not isolate ourselves from each other. I want you to get this. We can keep a safe distance and not isolate ourselves from each other. I want to encourage you, Canvas Church. I want to encourage you as one of your pastors, as a co-pastor of the church, as your friend, as just another member of the body of Christ. I want to encourage you to engage with each other. You know, we might have to be a little intentional. The church has to be way more intentional right now in ministering to each other with the gifts that God has given us than any time in probably in our lifetime. Well, at least in my lifetime. You have to be intentional. I want to encourage you to engage with each other. So here at Canvas Church, we've set it up a few ways. We have a private group page. You don't necessarily have to go to Canvas Church to join our private group page. You can apply for it. You can request. That's it. Request to be added to it. And we have hosts that ask you a few questions. We want to guard the people that are in that group page, make it as safe as a place as possible. You don't necessarily have to know each other. I think I'm not in charge of the group page. You can tell, but there's some questions. There's some questions that our hosts are going to ask, and just make sure we know, kind of get to know who you are a little bit before we add you to that group page. I want you to engage those that are on that group page. I want you to engage with each other within that group. I've been reading the post. Not too much engagement going on. I want you to engage. Say hi to each other. Reach out to one another. Do it publicly. Engage. I want you to engage in that group. Don't isolate yourself. Number 2 to this, we do a weekly Zoom meetup. Now, I can't weekly meet yet. We're going to adjust that time so I think we're going to end up doing it on Sundays. I don't know, whatever Pastor Angie decides. Right now, it's Thursdays at 7 p.m. I'm at work, so I can't engage in that group. I miss engaging with my church group on a weekly basis. So we're gonna adjust that probably to the weekend. Sorry if that doesn't work for you. I hope it does work. I think Sunday works for everybody. Maybe, unless you're working like I am, then it's not gonna work. So maybe one of y'all have to start another group. See, that's the point. We need to engage with another. Come on, leaders, lead, engage. Build a group. Make a group online. Don't isolate yourself. This is what we're talking about. Don't plant seeds of isolation in this season of time, especially, if you're home a lot, right? If we do this, we're gonna reap some fruit that we don't want. Verse 9 of Galatians 6, and don't allow yourself to be weary. Come on now. This is. I know I'm speaking to many of us, and don't allow yourself to be weary or disheartened in planting good seeds. Are we taking opportunity to plant good seeds for our future? Right now, this is a great season not to just eat Doritos and watch Netflix for hours a day. You know what I'm saying? This is a good season right now not to do that. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do that or you not ought to do that. You just shouldn't do it all day long, right? What are we doing to plant good seeds in our own lives, but in the lives of people around us? Don't allow yourselves to be weary or disheartened in planting good seeds, for the season of reaping of wonderful harvest you've planted is coming. So the harvest is coming. Take advantage of every opportunity to be a blessing to others. Come on, we can do this. We can do this in a stay-home order. We can do this when we're not isolating. See, that's a whole word, man. Not isolating ourselves. We can do this when we're kind of keeping safe distance. We can bless each other. Church, listen to me right now. We are going to have to think differently in this season of life. We're going to have to think differently. We're going to have to live differently. We're going to have to be more intentional. If you're a follower of Jesus, You are going to have to be more intentional engaging with God. Some of us, it's been years, or maybe weeks or months that we have actually sat in a chair, turned off social media, turned off the TV, maybe put some music, worship music on, and engaged with God. Maybe this season of time, God is trying to get our attention as a church to re-engage with Him in this vertical love relationship with the rescuer, so that we can actually engage in love with people in a horizontal, I had to think about that, a horizontal relationship with each other, to be a blessing to each other. If we want to be a blessing to people, we have to learn how to engage with God to be a blessing to others, right? Do not, I'm trying to tell you, don't look at this time, well, I can't go outside, I can't get my hair cut. Easy for me to say, I'm a bald-headed guy, right? But I get it, man, I get it. We have to take advantage of every opportunity to be a blessing of each other, especially to our brothers and sisters in the family of faith. Can I help you? Canvas Church. Are you being a blessing? Are you being a blessing to each other at Canvas Church? Are you engaging with people who call Canvas Church home? If you don't know who Canvas Church, who's in your church, it's growing. It's getting massive in a sense of our online reach is expanding. It's growing. Get into that group. Go on the Zoom call on Sunday mornings at 10:30. Join us for worship. Join us for worship in the chat box. Engage with each other. Get to know people who you go to church with, so you can be an encouragement to one to another. Right? What seeds are you planting? I would suggest for some of us to take a break from the news, but that's up to you. I also want to make a suggestion. Don't get into social media wars right now. Don't get into social media wars right now. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Doesn't mean, sometimes we have to say something. Sometimes you just got to say something. But realize everyone around us is struggling. Everybody is struggling with something. So be wise, be kind, be courteous, be loving, be at peace, be patient. Pray more. That's what we ought to be doing as a church. Praying more for one another, encouraging one another. If you go to Canvas Church, again, engage 3 ways at Canvas Church. Engage in our weekly worship service. 10:30 online. Man, you can do that from anywhere. When you're watching, when you're engaging, when you're there, don't just sit there and watch. Engage with people that are in the chat box. Say hi to them. Talk to them. Share prayer requests. Share some praise reports. Engage. Don't isolate yourself from other believers. Don't isolate. Don't get into your home and just isolate yourself with you and your dog and your husband and your 1.9 kids. That's fine. That's great. It's keeping everybody safe. I got it. Engage. Be intentional. Engage with God. Engage with each other. Canvas Church, 10:30 on Sundays. Engage in the group page. Now I'm talking to our church. Engage into our Canvas Church group page. Come on, engage. If you haven't requested to be part of that group, be requested to be in that group. Engage. Get on that Zoom call. Let's get on that Zoom call once a week. Engage. It's all about the more you engage with people, even if it's just this is about what we have, right? And even if it's this, it's refusing to isolate myself into my own space. Well, that's all I have time to talk about today. Hope you're doing well. Share this with your friends. Share this on your page. Get the message out. Don't isolate. Engage with each other. I got to get ready for work. See you later.